So, I'm a night guard at an oil refinery, and something happened to me that I can't really explain. So, I was here at the refinery last night, same as most nights. Everything was going as usual, with me opening a gate for the decocker and glass flipper trains to move around every now and then. Also, just to help build the scene, the refinery is not very well lit. A few miles away is the rail yard, and there are only two lights in the whole area. Our staff is about 50 people, counting the three other guards, in a 5-mile wide refinery. So, anyways, it was around 12:30, and nothing out of the ordinary had happened, but for some reason I got a really sick feeling in my stomach. Like, I could just feel something weird in my bones. I couldn't shake it off, even after watching Netflix on my iPad. I just had this really bad feeling something was wrong. When 2:30 rolled around, one of the trains needed to be let into the rail yard. I wasn't on a round, so I went to open it. As I entered the rail yard and got out of my truck to unlock the gate, which, by the way, is in near complete darkness, I got this sudden rush of adrenaline, like I had just done a line of coke or something. I hurried and pushed the gate open before running back to my truck, and I let the main guard at the SOC know that the gate was now open. About 15 minutes passed, and the train switches tracks and picks up new cars, and I calmed down substantially. I mean, nothing even happened. Why was I freaking out? Soon, the train left, and I went to close the gate, once again, in pitch darkness. As I walked to the back of the gate to begin pushing it shut, the SOC guard comes over the radio and says,
Garrett, the person you were asking for already went home.
"What are you talking about, Dan? The only person I know that works at the plant is my father, and he works the day shift."
When you called here a minute ago and asked me to have someone call you, just call my cell phone again real quick.
"Dan, I don't know your cell number." He paused briefly, then gave me the number. So, I called the number. "Hey, what are you talking about, man?"
Your dad already went home.
"I know that, Dan. He went home at 6. And I never called your phone. I don't even know your number." By this point, I was starting to get anxious.
Well, they sounded exactly like you and said, Hey SOC, it's Garrett. Can you have my dad call me? I need him to meet me ASAP.
Now I'm really starting to freak out. I tell the SOC to call the number back that called him. He did so and called me back to say,
That's weird. The number's disconnected now.
After this, I thanked Dan and hung up. At this point, I was on the verge of a panic attack, and so I closed and locked the gate before sprinting back to my truck and starting it up. As my truck starts, the headlights come on. At that moment, my truck was facing some semi-dense woods. I swear to God, I saw myself running in the opposite direction. I don't know how to explain it, but the second I saw whatever it was that looked like me, I felt like I had been shot with a 10-gauge slug. I had never been more scared in my life. I turned around and floored it out of there to get back to the refinery. Who was that? Why did they look like me? How did they get into the rail yard? I'm shaking just thinking about it, but it gets worse. As soon as I made it back to the refinery, I called my dad and told him exactly what had happened.
That doesn't make sense, son. Dan has known you for years. He wouldn't mistake your voice for someone else.
I know, Dad, but what about the person in the rail yard that looked like me?
I don't know, but I don't like this.
Okay, well, Be careful, Dad. Don't go anywhere tonight.
I love you, Garrett.
I love you too, Dad. I hung up the phone. My heart was pounding in my chest at this point. A few minutes after this, I had to do a plant round, inside and out. So, naturally, I do the inside first. Dreading going back to the rail yard, of course. As I'm about 2/3 of the way done, and into the back of the plant where there is just open grassland and fences, I get some fuzzy static on my radio. And these radios aren't top quality, so sometimes we get bleeding from other channels.
Where are you, Dad?
Fucking shit. That's my voice. I slammed on the brakes and asked if Dan heard that.
Heard what?
Nothing. Never mind. Great. Going insane. As I'm rounding the last curve to get back to the best lit section of the plant, a truck on the back road of the outside of the plant is coming my way. Just naturally, I look at it as they're driving by. I regret having had looked. As I peered into the truck, I locked eyes with myself. No doubt in my mind, it was me in that other truck. I nearly pissed myself and sped up. I stopped at the main gate and told the other guard what I saw and what's been happening. They didn't believe a word that I said. So, I'm still panicked and nearly in tears about having to go back to check the rail yard. I felt like I was being watched and I could just feel the malice in it. As I was driving to the rail yard on the back roads, it was probably close to 3:30 when I finally arrived. I was terrified. I just sat near the entrance, too scared to look around. All I could do was stare straight ahead. I took a deep breath to calm myself. It's probably just my eyes playing tricks on me. I get to go home at 6. I'm almost done. However, my reassurances did nothing to help keep my heart from leaping into my throat at every inch of darkness I saw while driving. I quickly finished my round and saw nothing out of the ordinary from that point on, but I still had a feeling of immense terror. Nothing else of note really happened the rest of the night, aside from seeing flashes of movement in the corners of my eyes. That was last night. When I woke up around 2 this afternoon, I swear I saw myself across the street going into my neighbor's house. I'm back at work again tonight, and I keep getting weird static on my radio, but no voices. Am I losing my mind? What am I supposed to do? I'm scared, guys. I don't know who it was. My dad? Or me?